Good morning everyone. Today I will introduce the article selected for our critique. The article is titled Comparison of Battery Electrical Vehicles and Internal Combustion Engine Vehicle Greenhouse Gas Emission Life Cycle Assessment, published in Applied Science in 2025. As we know, the transportation sector is one of the major contributors to greenhouse gas emissions. Although battery electric vehicles or BEVs are often promoted as a cleaner alternative to internal combustion engine vehicle or ICEV, there are still concerns about emissions from battery production and electricity generation. To address this issue, the researchers conducted a life cycle assessment or LCA to compare the environmental impacts of both vehicle types. The assessment covers the entire vehicle life cycle, including manufacturing, battery production, operation, maintenance, and end-of-life recycling. The study also considers different vehicle sizes, electricity grid mixes, and battery manufacturing locations to provide a comprehensive comparison. Overall, the study aims to determine which vehicle technology offers better long-term environmental sustainability.
Moving on to the next section, I will discuss the clarity of the research question in this article. So the study aims to compare the environmental performance of the battery electric vehicle BEVs and internal combustion engine vehicle ICEVs by analyzing their life cycle greenhouse gas emission, including stages such as battery production, vehicle use, and recycling. So one of the strengths of this paper is that it focuses on high relevant environmental issue. The research objectives are also clear and suitable with the LCA life cycle assessment method used in this study. However, one weakness is that the research question is not directly stated in the introduction, so readers need to identify the main question based on the objective. Including a clear research question earlier would improve the paper clarity and organization. Overall, the study has a clear purpose and relevant objective, but the research question could be presented more explicitly. Next, I will explain the appropriateness of the method used in this study. Overall, the methods are suitable for achieving the research objective. The researchers use the ISO 14040 Life Cycle Assessment or LCA framework, which is an internationally recognized method. It evaluates the vehicle entire and life cycle from manufacturing and battery production to vehicle use, maintenance, and recycling. So this gives a more complete comparison between BEV and ICEVs. So in addition, they use a Python-based computational model to analyze different scenarios by considering factors like vehicle size, fuel type, and electricity generation. The inclusion of the Python source code also makes the study more transparent and reproducible. However, there are some limitations. The study relies on the secondary data and several fixed assumptions, so the result may not fully represent the real-world condition. It also focuses mainly on the greenhouse gas emission and doesn't consider the other environmental impact, such as the water use and the resource depletion. Overall, the methodology is appropriate and scientifically sound, but the findings should be interpreted with some caution.
It's Aisha Nurjasmina, and next I will discuss about the validity of the result and also the limitation of the study. The results are generally valid because the author used the ISO 40040 Life Cycle Assessment Framework and also evaluate the emission across the entire vehicle life cycle, including manufacturing, operation, maintenance, and end-of-life treatment. They also compare different vehicle size, electricity mix, and battery production location. The findings consistently show that BEVs produce lower lifetime greenhouse gas than petrol and diesel vehicles. However, the study has some limitations. It only focuses on greenhouse gas emission and does not consider any other environmental impacts such as land degradation and also water consumption. The analysis also relies on secondary data and does not account for battery degradation or replacement. Therefore, although the results support the environmental benefit of BEV, but they should be interpreted with this limitation in mind.
Today, I'll go through with you the significance, relevance, and ethical consideration of this article. So, firstly, the study proves that electric cars are genuinely cleaner than gas across all sizes, saving between 20 to 50 tons of carbon dioxide. And this gives clear proof to support that major climate plans like the European Union's Fit for 55 initiative and net zero targets for 2050. It also shows that cleaner power grids and low carbon battery factories are the two main drivers for speeding up environmental payback. So now, looking at the right column, which is the ethical aspect and reproducibility. First one, a huge positive of this paper is that the authors share their full Python computer code in Appendix A, so that anyone can double check their calculation later. However, making an electric car creates about 40% more initial emission due to the battery. So this means we need stricter ethical oversight when mining raw materials like lithium, nickel, or cobalt. So finally, to get the full environmental savings at the end of a car's life, government must build transparent closed-loop battery recycling system.
Okay, for conclusion, this article provides a systematic and well-structured life cycle assessment based on ISO 14040 to compare the environmental performance, the battery electric vehicles, and internal combustion engine vehicles. The study shows that although BEVs generate higher greenhouse gas emission during manufacturing and transportation, they produce lower emission over their overall lifetime than ICEVs. However, the study has several limitations, including its reliance on secondary data, fixed assumption, and a primary focus on greenhouse gas emission. These factors may reduce the applicability of the findings in different real-world contexts. In addition, the research question could have been stated more clearly to improve the paper's coherence. Overall, the study provides valuable insights and serves as a useful reference for future research incorporating broader environmental indicators and real-world data. Maybe that's all from us. Thank you for attention. Bye.